We kind of fell into this, but our company is growing quite a bit in the fix and flip business. So we, it all started with an investor one day that gave me a call, and he's like, hey, you're a property manager and I know you know how to find vendors. I want to buy some property and have you fix it up and sell it for me. And I'm like, heck yeah, I can do that. So we did, and he was right. I mean, I've got 33 years in Gainesville doing property management. We've got a great list of vendors that we work with. We're used to going into a house and turning it over in 7 days. So, this is a little bit bigger turnover. Maybe we're putting in cabinets and countertops, new vanities in the bathroom, but these are things that we do all the time anyway in the course of our regular property management business, and we generally only give ourselves about 2 weeks in between tenants. So with our flip properties, hiring us to do that for an investor is such a huge service because we get it done quickly. We have the resources. We know where to go to get materials, perhaps more inexpensively. I know that I've been able to do kitchens and bathrooms for half of what some of the other companies in town that specialize in cabinets and that kind of thing are doing. So I know Tanya has worked really closely with a lot of the investors that we've done some fix and flips on, and I personally, with my fiance Jeff, we bought a house and we did a fix and flip on, and fix and hold for 9 months and flip, but it takes a little while, right?
You got there, that's all that matters.
The thing is, had I hired myself as a company, that job probably would have been done a lot quicker. But Jeff and I were not in a hurry. We wanted to really make sure and do it right, and it was the first one that we had done together, and he did 622 hours in that property is how much he worked. And typically we are jobbing that out to other people, and so we can get it done a little bit quicker than what he and I did with ours. But you can look on our website and in our blog and in this blog further down, and we'll have a link to some of those properties. But the investor services are really increasing quite a bit, and we're getting a lot more people coming to us for that. And through doing that, I've been able to get access and get on the list to get firsthand knowledge of off-market properties. Properties that are in the process of being foreclosed on or right before foreclosure. And so there are some really sweet deals that I'm either able to jump on or pass along to our investors. And so we are starting a mailing list, and if you are interested in getting information about off-market properties, you want to just shoot us an email or reach out on any one of our social media platforms, and we can add you to that list. And then as we start seeing those properties, we're going to start pushing them out to our list of investors.
And Tanya, I just think you have a lot to offer there because you've done it from a personal level, and you've tried to get the most for your money. You've gained so much knowledge there, and you're able to pass that on to the investors that come back to us. And then if they go on, Tiana's got that listing side down of it, got a great relationship with our vendors, and we're just able to get it done quickly. And the knowledge you bring to it is really helpful for those that are just kind of getting their feet wet in that investing.
That's actually what I was about to say, is that when Tanya walks through the property, she's looking at it from a buyer's standpoint or a tenant's standpoint, depending on the purpose of the investment property. And there are a lot of things you wouldn't even think of, just a feng shui of the home entirely that you're really looking at. Putting videos together so that we can go back and review it again later. And I think working as a team, it does help us decide, what color schemes to do, what works better with the home. I've seen homes that we've flipped that have definitely increased in thousands and thousands of dollars just by putting in, something silly like a different paint color or
on the cabinets.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's almost kind of like a shameless plug to our maintenance article in this newsletter, because we talk about that, and Tanya's got a lot of experience, and pay this extra $100 for this fixture is going to get you a bigger return. And it does get costly, and sometimes it's hard to see, spend it, well, I can get this for $50, why am I going to pay $120? But your return on that $120
is more like $200, whereas your return on that $50 is $50.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that is something, and that can be really tricky whenever you're working with somebody else doing that. So whenever you can turn that over and then just be a little hands off, And we're really good to work with. If you want to have some hands-on, that's fine. If you want to discuss some of the things that you might want to see in the property, we're usually able to help integrate that as well. But a lot of our investors, they are completely hands-off. They don't care. They just want to see it increase in value and sell quickly. And so we have done really well in that area. So one of the other things that we started, well, I guess that I started doing this year is teaching property management. And that just kind of also came naturally because I have been doing property management for over 30 years. I tend to be kind of the go-to rental girl in Gainesville. So when anybody, all the other realtors in town have a question about rentals, or if there's, some confrontation or problems, complications with landlord and tenant, a lot of times, they will call me. I do sit on the board of realtors in a couple of different formats, and one of them is in the grievance committee. And so we see some of these complaints that come in. And if you just, an ounce of prevention, which is actually further down in our article on a different subject altogether, but being able to teach property management, again, is something that I enjoy. I like to be able to share how we do things. I've never really worried about somebody stealing my ideas because, there are ideas that everybody can use. They're already out there. And so teaching just really has been something that I enjoy. I teach yoga, so I was never really nervous about sitting down and teaching. And so the class that I teach is how to make the most of your property management business, and it's typically taken by realtors who are thinking about getting into the business. With the pandemic and everything kind of moving to online, I started teaching Zoom classes, which of course, again, had not really done before the pandemic, but in my yoga class that I teach, I was contacted by my students quite often saying, gosh, I missed your class, can you do something online? And so I just kind of bit the bullet one day out on my deck and set up my camera, my phone, and did a Facebook Live class. And since I started that class, I just continued to do that for those students that can't come in. So when we had to move teaching, for the Florida Realtor class, how to make the most of your property management business, and they asked me if I could teach it on Zoom. I was like, sure, I can teach it on Zoom. Why not, right? But then I never knew, okay, 4 hours on Zoom. How do you keep people interested for 4 hours? But honestly, I swear, the time flew by. Everybody was very interactive. Tiana was helping me keep up with some of the questions that were coming in on the chat room. So that's really exciting. That's something that I've always wanted to do and that I've kind of always done. But now I'm doing it for different MLSs. I did it for the associations. I did it for the Ocala Association. I've taught a couple of classes here for Gainesville. And now that I've kind of gotten a few under my belt, I'll reach out to some of those other associations. And then this year I'm actually getting approved to teach another class, again, designed around property management. So that's been kind of fun. I will be looking to branch out a little bit, doing some consulting services, which I've done all along still here in Gainesville. There are a lot of different property management companies that have contacted me and asked me, well, how do you do this and how do you do that? And I'm always happy to share that information. So I'm thinking about just adding that in as, again, another just natural evolution to the services that we're offering now.